All right. So today we are going to be focusing on move-in dates and the training around that. Um, okay, so you'll notice the first thing that you have to do when working with a client is you need to make sure that they are enrolled in the right program that you are putting them into, right? So for this case, our test client, we are putting him into URBA's COC Rapid Rehousing Program. Okay, so my enter data as I'm going to go in there and make sure that I have that entered in. To do that, you would just go there and search for the agency name. You guys know all of that, of course, but I'm going to do a refresher for that piece. And so we will make sure to put in there. Actually already in it, so that's why it's not putting it. Okay, so I'm going to search for the agency name. I'm going to find the project that I'm going to add them to, click this plus sign right here, and then your enter data as will be as the agency. Okay, so after
I'm
that,
not seeing your screen.
are you on the phone?
Yeah,
Can everybody else see my screen?
we can.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but
Okay, it's okay, Tammy. I'll make sure I send you the link and you can view it as soon as we get off here. It's not going to be very long.
all right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so then after you've entered your data as, and that's what you're showing up as, you're going to here. This next box that pops up talks about backdate mode. So you would use this if like you're putting in information maybe from last week or last month or whichever. If it's a different date than today, you would put this in there. Okay. So I'm actually going to go ahead and say that our backdate mode, we put this client in a program maybe on Monday, right? So Monday's date looks like it would have been the 13th. So I'm going to use the 13th as my backdate. Okay. Then you click select backdate. After that, if you scroll up to the top, you can see there that your backdate mode will show that date, okay? The thing with backdate mode too, it will stay on that unless you change it, right? Even if you go to a different client, even if you go to a different project. So that's something just to keep in mind. If you are switching back to putting in notes as of today, make sure that you change that to today. All right, so here's our client. So today we're focusing on move-in dates, okay? So if I'm going to enter this client, let's say he entered our program on Monday, right, the 13th, and then he found housing today, the 16th. So he was able to move in today. So on the 13th, I was told to go ahead and start working with him. He's going to be in rapid rehousing. So we're going to enter him into the project for that day. To do that, you would go to the entry exit tab and you are going to click add entry exit, okay? Provider type will automatically populate with what you're entering data as, so that's correct. We're putting him into the COC Rapid Rehousing Program. And your type is always going to be HUD. Okay, so you're going to click down this little arrow right here and you're going to click HUD. All right, project start date. He is entering the project on the 13th, so that's good. And then we're going to click save and continue. All right, and then what will populate next is all of the information that is being pulled from other entries. So if he's had an entry before, some of this information will already pull through. Okay, your job as a case manager or as an HMIS staff, using the system is to go through and verify that nothing has changed, right? Of course, like date of birth and all that may not, will not change, but all the information down here could, right? So just double check and make sure it's correct. Like on here, you'll notice it says housing move-in date, 12/15/2022. Well, that's a move-in date from a different project, right? Because he's homeless right now. We're putting him in this project because he's homeless. So what you're going to do there is you're going to clear out this old back date. That's from a different entry. To do that, you're going to click on this little like rewind arrow right here, and it will clear that out. And then you're going to go down and update any of this other information right here that may have changed. So where is he at right now? Let's say right now he's in a place not meant for human habitation. He's staying in a car and he has been there for 2 to 6 nights. Okay. His approximate date of homelessness started on January 1st of this year. And number of times he's been on the streets in the past 3 years, including today. This is his 4th time. And he's been homeless for a total of 2 months. Okay. You would also then go down and verify any income information, non-cash benefits, all of that. We will cover that in an additional training, but that's just kind of an overview of what I want you to look at today. After you've updated the information, it's very important that you scroll down to the bottom and you click save and exit. If you don't do that, it'll go back and give you the information that you had previously in there. Okay. All right, after we've done that, you'll now see that you can see his entry for URBA COC Rapid Rehousing, and there's his project start date. All right. Well, now so he has found his house and he's moving in today on the 16th. Okay. So we are going to go in and we're going to add that move-in date. So to do that, I want you guys to go to your backdate mode and we're going to actually clear that out. Okay. And we're going to put in today's date because now we're putting in his move-in date. And you're going to click over to where it says interims. Okay. So you're going to click on this little paper here right under interims. And we're going to add an interim review. Okay. Interim review type, we are going to click as an update. You'll notice that you have several options here. You have an annual assessment, a 30-day review, 60-day, 90-day, or 120. For this one, we're just going to do an update. Make sure that the review date is in there for today. We're going to click save and continue. Okay, when this pulls up, this is the screen that you will enter his move-in date on. Okay, so his move-in date is going to be today. Okay, and then you can verify that all the information that you entered is still correct. Okay, of course, make sure you click save and exit after you're done. And then you can exit, and then when you go back in to his project start date, you'll notice that this still shows that he doesn't have a move-in date on this date because this is as of the 13th, so that's correct. So the reason why this is important and what was causing us some issues in our LSA, the report that we just had to finish, was that the client's move-in date, a lot of the times, was before his actual program start date. Okay, so for instance, maybe the client moved in on January 1st, but I just now got to the time to put him in the system. Okay, well, it was showing that he entered the program on January 16th, but then the move-in date was saying that January 1st. And so in the system, if it can't be true, right? If that can't be possible in the system, it just crosses it out. So no move-in date was showing at all for that client. Okay, that was one thing we saw a lot. We also saw a lot of times where an old move-in date would still be in there, right? So remember how it was showing the old move-in date there before we cleared it out? That was something that was pulling through too. And of course it was saying, hey, you can't have a move-in date in 2022 for a project in 2025, right? So those are two things that are very important that we make sure that we check. Are there any questions so far on that? I do think I have a chat here. Devin says, do we also need to add in the date of engagement as well? Yes, that's fine. On the reports that I pull, there are not any reports that necessarily look at date of engagement as of yet. I think that's something that may be coming farther down the line in some of HUD's reporting, but for our COC, we don't necessarily look at date of engagement, but yes, if that's something that you're doing, go ahead and by all means fill that out. Good question, Devin. Are there any other questions regarding the move-in dates and how that works or reasons why we do that or any questions on that? All right, awesome. So I'm actually going to